Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you again for your patience. I was traveling yesterday, unable to make any content. But today, of course, trying to get back on track here. I'll cover some of the basic, most important ones here, Solana being one of those, just to kind of help understand what could happen next. We do have a falling wedge pattern here that essentially broke out, and we should be able to utilize that as a support level. So in other words, the price action kind of breaks itself down here like this. We can see now that we're on the right side of the tracks there, on the upper side of that descending trend line, that should continue to work as a support. Okay, we'll talk about that and a few other key factors here, but if you're new to the channel, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I do love teaching people to trade. Hope you can learn something here today, and if you want to become a better trader, again, cryptocash.tag is the site. Link down below, we've got a trading academy, community, and of course a wonderful signals group there. So if you take a quick look here, we took some nice profits here recently. This is my day trading bot, BNB. We've been scalping BNB, a couple of nice open trading pairs there. Same thing with Chainlink, and of course took some monstrous trading profits on Friday there. Definitely some good stuff. So again, thank you Chainlink for the awesome profits. Let's see if Solana has potential to give us some profit here as well. We've averaged our position down nicely. Absolutely good situation here. Once again, this falling wedge type of pattern, we can see the price action breaking down, or above rather, that descending trend line. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute, but let's quickly note here some, the elephant in the room here, which is pretty obvious. Take a look at how many shorts are in the market now as of the price hitting that 103 mark and coming back down. So we hit this double top, so to speak, where the price action rejected at that level twice and is now progressing downwards. But that heavy amount of liquidation at that level just is going to be incentive for some whales. Okay, so again, it doesn't mean the price is going to shoot up to that level because of it, but it simply implies that it's going to be a lot more focus this week on the price pushing up than down, just based on that being a heavy concentration at that specific level. Okay, whales love to destroy and wreck any type of longs or shorts hedged at specific key level resistances. Okay, so just know that is a very real thing here. If we take a look at the last 12 hours, we can see as well, people in the last 12 hours have been shorting a lot more than considering longs. So what's more, all the real reason why the price action should continue to pivot and continue further up. Once more, I'll explain what I mean by that here in a minute, but that's usually a positive sign when you see that much liquidation above the price action. Okay, so again, 103, just to kind of give you perspective, massive amounts of liquidation right there at that level, and that is coincidentally a 0.5, if I'm not mistaken. That's a 0.5 fib level at 102.70. Okay, so just got to keep in mind that's a pretty important level for Solana, so getting back to that range there is going to be important. Now what we want to look at here is just we'll go ahead and draw out some fibs for the most recent time frame, kind of see what's going on here. We'll double check a few key factors too. So daily time frame first and foremost, we want to take a look at this here and clarify that moving averages are still in good shape. Okay, we talked about this previously, how that is a good supporting factor. We got the 50 SMA hanging out right there at about 97. Same thing with 20 down about 94. So while there is potential for the price to continue lower, we should experience a lot of support between this $93 and $97 mark. Okay, again, moving averages, sending trend lines. There's a lot of reasons why the price action should maintain itself, but we don't want to go with coulds and shoulds, right? We want to go with more specific considerations. In this here, daily time frame still showing a stochastic divergence. We didn't get our convergence here as we were supposed to yesterday, the day before. So truth is, while we're above 50 in our RSI, we're kind of losing that momentum to the upside, and it's slowly tapering off. Okay. So again, Solana still in decent shape, but this isn't like a phenomenal daily situation here for us. It would be nice if we got that stochastic swing, which we didn't, mainly because the price stunned out and couldn't close above that 103 mark. Okay, so having a look at the 4 hour, let's go ahead and see where we're at. We're now below two moving averages, the 50 and the 20. So those could be new resistance levels for us. If we look here, 98.50 is a rough estimate of where they're hanging out there. So that, in conjunction with the fact that we're below 50 on the RSI, does imply we have somewhat of a resistance at that $98 mark. Okay, same thing here as well. We can see money flow index extremely low. Now keep in mind this is a weekend. Weekends get a little funky, so I wouldn't read into this too much. But the simple fact of the matter is here, MFI being low, under 50 on the RSI on the 4 hour, those are some bearish signs letting us know the price could continue further down. But once again, we kind of take a look at TD sequential. We're hitting our bottom here. We've been moving down for 36 hours continuously. Generally speaking, we will see a reversal because of that, or at the very least, a plateau where the price goes sideways and then either up or down once those Bollinger Bands start to compress. Okay, so generally speaking, that's where we're at there. We can see MACD is trying to diverge, but it hasn't yet. It's losing its divergence, so to speak, though. So it's not gaining momentum, which is positive. And of course, stochastic is swinging upwards. Once again, if we get a second stochastic swing, that's when we want to really consider it. Okay, so we take a look here. Anytime you see a second stochastic swing to the upside or downside, it carries a lot more weight. So hypothetically, we could see one of these here, and that's when we want to get in, when it kind of converges for the second time after diverging once more. So that does imply we could see another leg down. Based on Fibonacci levels here, 96.38, 96.40 is a round number, is a pretty solid support level there based on most recent fibs. Okay, so that's again, since our high here at about, what is that, 107-ish, right in that range, 106.50, all the way down as low as 93, we can kind of see here that that level at about 96.30 as a close approximate is roughly what we're looking at there. Okay, so 96.30 support, $98 roughly as a resistance level. We're kind of essentially creating a range. Now that's how you reverse a trend, though. You got to keep in mind, this lower low, lower high pattern will cease to exist as soon as we start creating higher highs and higher lows, or you effectively continue within a range. And we are starting to see this range establish itself between 98.50 as low as 96.30. Okay, so that's roughly where we're at here for the range. Is it going to break up or break to the downside? This left to remain to be seen, right? Now, if we take a look at Ichimoku cloud, excuse me, Ichimoku cloud, we can see here, of course, that the price action is below the cloud. Lagging span is within the price action, of course, and conversion lines within the baseline. So it really just implies if you have a short position open, you want to close that. All the more reason to consider a long here soon based on the fact that we should pivot in the relative near future and effectively continue higher from here. Now, again, it's not a guarantee, but breaking this descending trend is fantastic. This falling wedge pattern that we saw earlier it's definitely going to continue to the upside here, or I guess you could say it's already kind of broken to the upside, but simply put, this is usually a bullish sign, contrary to the color, of course, and it's absolutely a consideration for the price to continue higher. Now, we didn't establish higher highs or higher lows yet, but that remains to be seen. Okay, if we can continue upwards here, just say, for example, we come up here and we start to break within the $98 to $98.90 range, that's going to be a stronger consideration for a long, and the price action should be able to maintain itself and continue higher. While we'll still be within the cloud, we'd be shifting momentum, and we'd have the conversion line above the baseline, the lagging span would be free and clear, and we'd be in a much better situation here. So to me personally, I would say a long position is going to be viable within the next 24 to 48 hours. I would say $100 or higher is that confirming factor we're looking for, but initially I think hitting the $98.50 to $99 range would be a significant start, because that would put us in a position where we're essentially establishing higher highs and higher lows, or just breaking this most recent high. Okay, because again, to be able to break a descending trend, you got to be able to break the most recent low with a high. In other words, this guy needs to come up here and cross this plane. Okay, so once more, whether or not it's the Fibonacci level at 98.23 or 98.50, either one of those scenarios would be better, because again, we're still technically establishing lower lows and lower highs. But you can see the trend starting to reverse itself with this falling wedge breakout, so to speak. And the likelihood of the price pivoting from here is greater based on that sentiment. Again, is it a guarantee, this being a weekend? Heck no. Weekends are funky. So I would just say we're going to probably see some real moves here later today. And if so, get ready and be prepared. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see one more leg down to sweep some lower level liquidity. It's a very common practice. You see the price come down here, a little temperature check, and then continue on its merry way, wrecking faces along the way too. Okay, so normal, very standard trading stuff. So good news is longer term Fibonacci level here at about $97 should be a nice little support level there. But I'm looking for a closure today at $98.50 or higher. I think that would be a pretty substantial shift in momentum. If we don't get that, we're probably going to continue to be range bound unless we break below that 96.30 mark. At that point, we'll revisit this and kind of double check a few other things and see roughly where the trend lines are treating us. Okay, so all in all, not the worst thing ever. I wouldn't be really too worried about it. And again, if you saw the structure of my Solana trade, it was designed to be able to get filled at these lower levels, and invalidation occurs after we hit the third target. And we're a ways away from that. Okay, so I do not think we're going to break this range of 93 as the lowest point, but the current range between 96.30 and 98.50, I think once we break above or below either side, that'll give us a pretty definitive direction. Okay, just be mindful. There's a lot of manipulation in the market right now, and it's kind of a funky market. So please keep that in mind.